Hello Libra, kia ora koutou katoa. Welcome to my YouTube channel and all my Facebook page if you've come across this video on Facebook. So I just want to get going quite quickly or on the roll again and get moving. For something's moving, something's shifting, and I don't know, I feel a little bit, not fidgety, but like, I don't know, I just feel like I want to get moving basically. At the moment, but also in a calm way, because I'm feeling quite calm at the moment as well. So as I'm talking, so my energy is starting to like settle down. So something may have picked up and maybe picking you up and then plopping you down again is what I'm hearing. And it may have already happened, but it may be something that's maybe coming up soon. So when you get this video, you'll probably understand a lot of you, or maybe not on saying that, because I feel like some of you, the good portion of you, this is probably still going to come. So anyway, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. And I encourage you to do that now if you haven't done that. Subscribe to my channel, and thank you if you do, or when you do. And also thank you to everybody who has left comments or thumbs up, and also subscribed to or followed and liked me on my Facebook page as well. So thank you for that and welcome. Now this is for Libra, so Sun, Moon, Rising and or Venus. So welcome all Librans here. Nice to have you having a look on at the messages that come through. So now the energy is just like totally wound right down. So it may be that some of you are needing to take a break. So the energy has got quite quiet now, where I'm usually quite loud, but it's like, no, I feel like I want to not whisper, but just speak gently. Now I feel like it's just because there may have been a whole lot of things that have heightened up, and it's like that were very heightened, not long ago, maybe a week or so ago, maybe not even that, maybe less than a week, and maybe a little bit further back. And it may be just this ongoing drama or something, that some of it is your drama on saying that, because you're bought into it, and some of it you have created, and some of you is other people's drama that you've bought into and you've just added to it. So and it's maybe that you're overthinking things and overlooking things as well, as what I'm hearing here. So I just want to turn this around because it feels the right thing to do. And anyway, so there's this kind of like, this energy that's like, I just want to be quiet now. I just want a little bit of quiet and a little bit of space, so I can just gather my thoughts and my feelings, and so I can figure out where I'm going to next in my life. Okay, and I'm feeling like some of you, it may literally be life at the moment, because you're maybe contemplating looking for another job, or looking for another home, or shifting home. And I'm hearing like some of you maybe even thinking about going back home, wherever that home is for you. Maybe back overseas, it may be not overseas, it may be home. You may be wanting to build a new home, or find a home that you thought was not there, but it is there now, because something has come to fruition. It's like, oh, okay, so that's cool. I'll just put that in the back of my, in the file, that in the back of, in the back, like a feather in the cap sort of thing, and just put it there. You know how some people put builders can, or some put it in there, but a lot of people put it in the ear, on the ear. I know my uncle used to, and my dad used to put the pencil in his ear, on his ear, so in that crease in there. So it's like, So anyway, there's something, there's something like, maybe a lot of contemplation about where to next. So for you, and it's like, now I'm just really needing some quiet time. So we are doing so anyway, so I do advise checking out, or encourage checking out, what your other signs say for you, just to give you a bit more of an overview of about what could be happening for you, and some in different areas of your life, but also in your chart, and emotionally, physically, mentally, emotionally, and soulfully, which is why this is open, for Sun, Moon, Rising and or Venus. Okay, cool. Oh dear, I feel like I'm feeling really not drained, but like, oh dear, I need a rest. Change basically. I need to change. So anyway, we're doing a spread, and so this is the overall energy what we're doing here, and that's coming from the earth, what is it called? The Sacred Earth Oracle deck that I have here. Also we're doing a mind, body, spirit, soul sort of flow there with 3 down, and we'll see what's in the current energies, and what may be coming up and how you can get around it, and also what could happen for you if you by the end of the month with this flow that's coming through, if this resonates with you. Okay, motion. We do have motion on the spiritual and the spiritual side, in the mind side here. So I wanted to connect that too with motion, though, on saying that, because that's what I'm just hearing, that spiritual there. So and that, so it's like when we're connecting with motion, because it's in, when we where they go, when we're connecting, when we're making with whatever is going in our mind, and we connect with it, often it helps us to either take steps or not take steps. So but depending on what story we're telling us in our mind. So there's something about motion, about moving in motion. So, and it's interesting because I was talking about spiritual there, and this is reaction. So when we get things in motion, then it creates a reaction, basically, and things start to move, and things start to move. Now, on a physical level, we have fragments here. So there are some fragments, and we'd be maybe walking through some stuff that is fragmented physically, on saying that for some of you about whatever it is, emotions. It could be a relationship, it could be like something to do with family, coming back up, coming through to you now, and maybe we'll see what happens here. There are a few things going on here, so I'll just shuffle the cards and see where that takes us at the moment. I'm just putting that there because we have 2 there. So there's fragments there on the physical level, reaction on a spiritual level. Fragments, I'm seeing like maybe being a bit guarded about something coming at you or coming towards you, but also be guarded with the light. So there's something about light and information, is what I'm hearing there. So there may be fragments of information, and what I'm seeing is like coming to you that you may be like quite guarded, that you're not wanting to see, but also you may be like just thinning them off because that's not what you're wanting to not only just see but feel as well, or be amongst. But sometimes what I'm hearing that there may be, this is I'm just hearing fragments of energy, fragments of thoughts and feelings are starting to come, it's starting to come up through the exposure of being exposed to something to do with light, or something to do with information coming to you. So, and I feel like that's what they're talking about. It's like you may be guarding that, so being on guard about that. But I'm just hearing too at the same time, when with this motion, taking motion there, moving, these fragments are coming out, and it's creating a reaction on a spiritual level. But it's also about, on a soul level, there is some sort of moderation there, and taking it into moderation, taking things in moderation. But also there's alchemy here as well. So there's something about, alchemy is about magic, or creating, from a heart space, this energy of what it is that we want to do, be, give, and have in our lives, and and what that looks like for us, and how it is for us, how we want it to be, what we want it to be, who we want it to be, blah, 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 and so on. So there is that. Where are we going? So, and following on from those, there we have the 2 of Swords and what is the current energy now. So there may be some indecision, or some indecision there, or maybe needing to make a decision. It may be something that you're not wanting to see right now, because I'm just being drawn to the blindfold, as like taking the blindfold and actually having a look at that, not not blinding yourself, not blindfolding yourself, or covering something up. What I'm hearing is like just like making a decision. However, on saying that, so because it's just like cutting through the thoughts that are holding you back from making it, and just so you can figure out what it is. But on saying that, I'm hearing like this decision doesn't necessarily need to be made now, because what I'm hearing is like at the same, at the moment, with these swords, and there is information that's coming to you and you're not quite ready to see some things, and some things it's better that you don't see for some of you. This is like really like honing in on your intuition and your belief system within and trust. So then we have on the and here on the physical level with the wands, okay, something about this is action and taking this. So maybe you're on guard with something that you've worked towards, that you've accumulated, physically, as well as not just mentally and emotionally, but there's something that's moving, and it's because you've taken action, but maybe, but it's now I feel like there's a sense of protection in a way with yourself, but also more for somebody else. I'm hearing maybe a mother or a father or a family member, maybe 2 or 3 family members. It's like, but I do feel like the family members, that's like, protecting one from the other, blah, blah, blah. So it's, and it may be like, so there's an indecision there or something to do with that. So, or creating boundaries as to how far or what's going on there. But I'm drawing this back to you as well, so with the current energy and the reaction side of things here on a spiritual level, there's maybe a little bit of imbalance and a lack of sharing and cooperation within certain areas of your life. So, but that's probably could be because of what is going on here and here at the moment, but there needs to be some balance around that. So I do feel like while you've been like sharing and caring with certain people, that may not necessarily be with the people who maybe like really need it at the moment, and because of you being on guard and being protective about something or someone. Okay, and then we have the Ace of Pentacles here, which is in reverse on a soul level too. So I just want to, so there's a gift. So there's something about, change there, and the gift of, creating something new, that you may be like holding off on something, which is creating, which is about maybe on a spiritual level, like with this balance here and the sharing and caring, but it's finding that balance between the sharing and cooperation and that sort of thing. So there may be a lack of there in some way, in some aspect in your life, okay, not necessarily just on a spiritual level, but because it kind of flows out into other parts of our life too, just like expanding thinking about that as well, which kind of mean which is kind of blocking in a way this sense of where building this new foundation, a new sense of stability and security. So it could be threatening your stability and your security that you've built now. But it's like, and you may have come across this again, before, and it's like in that wondering where I'm going, which is, going back to this balancing and sharing sort of thing. It may be that you're not physically doing, but in the background, it's like, I wonder how that's going to work out. So, but this is here, and like, this is like coming in moderation and keeping those thoughts. I'm just hearing moderation, but also this creating the magic. So you can, turn anything into gold pretty much, or make something happen out of nothing, is where I'm hearing what I'm hearing there. So these 3 cards here are kind of like are blending together for me right now, and showing me that when everything is like encompassing with this alchemy here, okay. But there's a new beginning. There's a new start in some way, with this Ace of Pentacles on a soul level, where something is coming up that could be seen as a new start or a new beginning in the way that you look at the way money is, in that sort of sense, or how you earn money, how you accumulate money, how you spend money, whatever that is for you. But I'm hearing more like a new beginning in the sense of building something new, but also some of you it will be maybe around your health, or somebody's health, or energy levels as well. But I'm also hearing about family as well. So and maybe something new, a new perspective around family, okay, matters. And it may be that there may be some in how the money, maybe about how money is dispersed between family, or how money is affects you in some way, but there's something about finances anyway as well. And, you know, like, because I do feel like for some of you there is a physical move as well as a spiritual shift move as well. Because in the mind here they're talking about, so there's something that maybe that you're working on or thinking about at the moment, but this here, the death card is here, so there's something that's, you know, in the mind, it's getting your head around it, that's shifting, and it's old stuff. There's a new beginning in that sense there with the death. There's a transition in the way of a process of, you know, even like with this moving, flowing into this part here of the way that you're thinking about things, and which is cool. And there may be some sort of, you know, about disappointment on a physical level, because I'm just, you know, with this heart card here, so there may be something where you may feel like you might disappoint somebody, but it's actually, it's not a this is about you also thinking about yourself as well with the movements that you're going to make. So it's kind of like, you know, weighing that up, which is coming back, bringing things into balance there through this line here, and that sort of thing. So with that line of thing, just looking at that line there, and then we have, because with after that, you know, there is the Six of Pentacles. So this has come up in all the readings today. Six of Pentacles, about finding that balance again, you know, of being able to give and or receive now. So there's something about being open. I'm hearing to giving and or receiving things from people. It's not necessarily that you always have to be the giver or the receiver, but there is that reciprocal energy there. So it's about going back to the Temperance there. So there may, interesting, that was in reverse before, so there may have been a bit of resistance there with you, you know, either giving or receiving. So finding that balance in there as well, because I'm noticing the scales in here. Hard case. Because then we have the Page of Wands on a soul level. So there's something moving on a physical level there as well as on a soul level where, you know, it's like a new beginning or a shift in the way that you're thinking, and that there's something, because I'm being drawn to the pyramids as well. You know, they're not behind as such, they're to the side, but also just to the fore. That there's something that's, you know, you've been building on and working on, and it maybe not necessarily where I feel you think you're going to be going, but it's like, but however, it's leaving yourself open to exploring what is, you know, what is coming, or what it could be, because it may be just as good or way better than what you originally thought. So it's being open-minded with that. So then we're moving into, you know, like what's, you know, like that could be what's coming up in, you know, in the middle of the month, but moving on into the end and following near the end of the month is, you know, there's the Five of Cups here. So there may be some sort of emotional, you know, emotional trauma or emotions that may be coming up for you. Not sure whether it's about that, but there's something that's shifting there, that is a process that you may be needing to go through, is to allow yourself to feel your emotions. So because this Page of Wands here is like giving a little bit of a shove there in the sense, you know, leading the way, putting one foot in front of the other to, you know, to taking some steps towards something. But it may mean at the same time that you are needing to leave or let something go, release something, and then probably with an emotional attachment. But on saying that, you know, there's something in motion here. Because this motion card, there is something in motion that with this decision making that you're making, something, it's like you free yourself of something, free yourself of some emotions that, you know, that have been there. Or something emotional that may be coming up for you. But it's like, but on saying that, you know, there is something, the grass is greener on the other side there. On saying that, there's a lot of green grass. There's a castle on the other side of the bridge as well. So it may be that you're needing to let go of something in order to, you know, receive, or, you know, receive that too, but also to set the wheels in motion to where it is that where you need to be going, or where you want to be going, or what is for the greater good of you to be going towards. Because then we have the Queen of Wands on a physical level, so it's like, you know, she's ready to get going. So after, you know, moving through the emotional side of things, it's like, yep, okay, I'm ready to get going. So it kind of shows up something there. I think I get the feeling with these emotions where, yep, you're in, you know, that she's a risk taker. She's that entrepreneurial sort of energy as well. She takes because, you know, I want to say takes risks. So here's the Page of Wands here, which is just before her, setting the next step, or setting in motion the next step, or taking that next step, moving towards the Queen, you know, where there is more energy, more abundance, more, what are they talking about here? More motivation, more enthusiasm, and that sort of thing, and not getting so much in, but just keeping that balance with the emotional side of things there, in the sense of the egotistical side there. So keeping that balance with the ego as well, you know, not being too over bolshy, and, you know, and thinking you know it all and that sort of thing, but also, and it's not, you know, and then not putting yourself out there as much, and like thinking that you don't know anything. So that's where they're going with that balance thing as well. But she's there to help you find that balance, but you're never going to know until you take those steps, is what she's saying, okay, with that. But I'm just, you know, drawn to the Black Cat now, which is, you know, magic, talks about magic. There's a lot of magic in there, so we're talking about the magic in here. She creates magic, okay, because by the emotions that she takes. So she's more of a person who is, you know, who is one to get up and go generally, and be enthusiastic. So which is where they were going before. Sometimes there can be over enthusiasm with the fire signs, and or the Queen, or the King, and the what do you call it, the Knight, but more so the Knight. But they just like have this energy to go. So it's like roll with that energy, utilize that energy to help motivate you to get to where you need to be going for you. So because on a spiritual level, it's like it helps you to get through, shift the mindset, and releasing that which doesn't serve you any good for your highest, any purpose for your highest good. So all those negative thoughts and that lack of communication there, because she's one that will work with everybody, that brings things together. Much like the King, he's in his knowing and his being, and how he knows how to work things. He works magic, he creates magic because he takes action, and because the motion, put things into motion. And these fragments of information, they are coming together, and she's bringing that together. So even though there has been this disappointment, and there has been some, you know, you may have had your guard up for a bit there. So it's like dropping that guard down with this disappointment, because and you may receive it. You may actually drop your guard down, but it's you see what the disappointment is, or what the heartache is. Because if you've got your guard up all the time, you're not able to always physically, mentally, emotionally, and or explore that. But however, there seems to be a healing, but she's on top of it. You're on top of it. The reaction side of things here, the Temperance, the balance, and balance again, giving and receiving, but also finally realizing that actually it's just in my mind, you know, this reaction. It's whatever I created, this reaction is what I'm hearing. So, and I'm releasing that, and I'm letting that go, and I'm stepping into my power, because the 10 is the completion of a cycle, or the 9 is coming in, is the completion of a cycle, and then moving into the 10, which is a transitionary phase for me, bringing it all together so you can move into the next phase in your power, in your communication mode, being able to and feeling able to clearly express yourself as you continue to move forward. Then we have the 5 of Cups. The 4 of Cups here is like, you know, taking you out of that self-pity stage there, which is where they're feeling. So even though it's on a soul level, there's a learning in that side of things where, you know, this is like you see it now. And you move in what this gift is that, you know, the universe has brought you, that God has brought you, that Spirit have brought you, that's sitting there that you haven't actually noticed or acknowledged yet. So it's like stepping outside of that self-pity state. So you are the second one. I think that come through with Leo as well, this card, and finished with that too. So there's something about figuring some shit out anyway, or some stuff out, I could say. As far as getting you to move on to the next phase. So it's an amazing little quest for you, little quest, big quest, however you call it. But you know, that's what I'm hearing. I just don't make it any bigger or any more flamboyant than what it already is, because depending on the way that you're seeing it. So it's like it's a journey. Cool. And we'll just clarify these each with a each row with a card. Cool. The Moon and the Eight of Swords, and we've got 2 here. Okay, cool. So first of all, we have the Hanged Man. So yeah, so it's things from a new perspective is what I'm getting from this one, literally. The Moon, yeah, listening, feeling, taking notice of the moon's cycles and the, and the energy that the flows of the energy that the moon cycles bring. So really get in touch with that, get in touch with you, take notice of it to help you move through the different stages of these here, the emotions that you're going to be feeling, and the physical movement that you're going to be feeling, and the physical energy of it, because sometimes it can make us really tired. Sometimes it can go into that emotional space where we're like feeling really emotional, but we're shifting energy. The Eight of Swords is here, is helping us to cut through our own bullshit there, basically, and get going with stuff on a spiritual level there. So that's pretty cool in the sense of, releasing ourselves from the restrictions that we've bound ourselves to. So just drawing here to this card, she's tied to this tree. It's only a thing cool, but she's going to free herself. So that's way cool, because she's got a knife there. She can free herself if she's willing to. So on the spiritual, so this is about, allowing yourself to free yourself from the restrictions, basically. And then we have the Chariot and the Eight of Wands. So wow, that's pretty way cool. So the Chariot is about, finding that balance once again, in that yin and the yang, the black and the white, not seeing everything as black and white, but actually I feel like you're on your path. So there is about another choice that you're going to be making as well on a soul level. But there's some sort of balance in the way when you make that choice. That's, yes, you're doing it for all the right reasons, but it's and with balance there. And there's a new beginning in that sense. Because look at the baby in the middle there. Look at the baby. What's born? Something new is born from that. Okay. Wow. I've not seen that before. And then we have the Eight of Wands, which to me, eights are about making a movement now, but it's also about that infinity, the infinity sign that I see there, and knowing and remembering that you are an infinite being. So whatever it is that you're wanting to create, you can create it, which is the alchemy there. And the Eight of Wands for me is the eight is also a now, and action, going now, taking action now is like for the Eight of Wands is for me is what it means to me as well. So that's pretty way cool. So because I'm just taking a look at what is there, it's like the action and the movement. It's like he's moving, and he's moving quite quickly. It's interesting too, because there looks like there's a cheetah or some sort of form of cat, a jungle cat or something, that's sitting there watching him zoom past the cat. Now the cheetahs and those cats, all cheetahs like the cats, can move quite quickly, and he's moving quicker than the cat. The cat's like, hey. So so there is some sort of movement in it's taking action now, getting moving now. Okay, with whatever it is that you've got in mind now with this project, this relationship, some sort of movement, and it may not necessarily mean like you're going to quit your job right now. For some of you it may be, or no, not right now, but or soon. But in some of you it may be on the brink of doing that. But some of you it may be that you're looking at quitting your job, or making a move, shifting, changing something, your workplace. And it's about, strategically creating a plan. This is about being strategic about it as well. So some of you may have been quite strategic already and ready to make that move. So, and some of you may be sitting there, it's like, okay, you may make that decision, sooner than you think. So, we have free will, so we can do whatever we want. So by no means am I telling you to quit your job right now. It's just kind of where that flow seems to be going with these cards. So you are responsible for your own actions. Just saying. So keep that in mind. And this is where the spirit is bringing in. So for some of you, that will be literally creating an exit plan or a strategic plan as to where. So this is where they bring in that vision board to write down a list of what I want to do, be given, have in my life, and that just expands out naturally as to who, what, why, when, and how. So on saying that, and then creating that vision board for you. because that is really, I find that really helpful in keeping me centered and focused in my intentions of where I want to be going in my life and how I'm going to be doing it, who I'm going to be doing it with, and what that might look like for me, and when, and all sorts of things like that. So, that, like I said, it just expands out. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there for you, Libra. So with lots of love, peace, harmony, joy, excitement, and adventure. God bless you and God protect you. And we'll see you during the month with some updates and like some little zhuzh up thing, messages to keep you on track, and maybe just help you out, and bring a little bit more information there through for you. Okay? Have a break. Have a good break and have a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.